Okay, so I want to make sure I introduce your project so you know exactly what you're supposed to be doing on Friday and when I come back on Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. So I'm going to go over the rubric first, and then I am going to talk a little bit about what each group is going to do and where you're going to find out who's in your group and what ecosystem you're doing. So we are going into our chapter 7, 8, and 9 of our ecosystems book, which is exciting because we only have 10 chapters in the book. So that means we're getting closer to our field trip, which is so exciting. So chapter 7, 8, and 9 have to do with aquatic ecosystems. There are 6 aquatic ecosystems in Missouri that we are going to study. You should have talked about them a little bit yesterday when you kind of put your knowledge of what you know so far on lakes, ponds, streams, rivers, marshes, and swamps. Okay, all of these 6 are in the Missouri ecosystem. What you're going to do for your next project, which is 50 points, is you as a group are going to make a model of your particular aquatic ecosystem that you will be assigned, and your group will be assigned as well. You are going to make a model of your aquatic ecosystem. Okay, you're going to present that to the class, talk about a few things that we're going to have on our quiz, and then I will clear up anything that we still need to talk about. So your job is kind of going to be presenting half the chapter to the class. So you have to take the chapter and make it a little bit interesting about what we're talking about. So whatever aquatic ecosystem you get assigned. So there are several things you're going to be graded on for this. The first thing is going to be time management. So right here, time management. You are going to be graded on how well you stayed on task. So did you work together? Were you all working? Did you have one person in your group who didn't work? That person will get points taken off. Not the entire group. Whoever was not working. Okay? You need to be a cohesive unit. So you need to work together. You need to talk. You need to be working every single day. You're going to have 4 days to work on this, which is more than enough time to get this finished. Okay? Use your time wisely. Discuss what you need today, and then we'll move on and get to working. So the next one you're going to get graded on is your actual model. Okay? So what I'm looking for in your model is I'm looking for something you put together that is like a 3D sort of deal. Okay? There's a model example underneath that front table of what Miles did for his project for when we did watersheds. It's a similar thing that you're going to be building. It's just going to be what you decide to make it out of. Okay? You can get as creative as you want to with this. You can make it out of Legos if you have Legos. Don't go out and buy a whole bunch of Legos. Don't tell your parents you have to do that. Okay? You can make it out of paper. You can make it out of cardboard. You can get as creative as you want with this. It just has to look like whatever your aquatic ecosystem is. So if it's a lake, it needs to look like a lake, and it needs to have all of the parts of the lake, which are in your chapters 7, 8, and 9, your aquatic ecosystem books. Okay? If it's a river, you need to have all the parts of a river, and it needs to look like a river. Rivers and lakes do not look the same, so your model should not look the same from anybody else's. Unless you're a pond and a lake, it'll look similar, but not the same. Okay? So your model should be done well, and should be labeled with all of the parts of that ecosystem. And we will talk about that when you go into looking at your particular ecosystem. There are different parts to every single one. So we'll talk about what yours should include. Okay? It should be neat. It should look like you spent at least 4 days on this in class. And we're going to be working on this in class. Okay? We're not taking it home. We're working on it in class. If you want to make something at home and bring it in, that's fine. But this is an in-class project. Okay? It needs to be neat. It needs to look like you spent time on it and that you put it together with effort. Okay? And everything should be there. The next part's going to be your presentation. Okay? All group members should have a part in this presentation, and it should be professional, meaning you should know about your ecosystem, and you should talk like you know about your ecosystem. You should be informed on your ecosystem. You should practice for your presentation, because you're going to be presenting your model, and you will be presenting some questions to the class as well so that they can do well on their quiz. So it is important that you take this seriously. If you dress up, I will give you extra credit. So if you dress nicely for your presentation, meaning out of the ordinary, not your normal sort of wear, I will give you extra credit because you are presenting as a professional. Student engagement, okay? This means that you're not just reading the information to the class, okay? You are presenting the information in a way that keeps them interested and keeps them engaged. So, are they listening to you? Are you showing them things? Are you doing some sort of activity? It should be an engaging thing. They should want to listen to what you have to say. Okay, vocabulary. You need to define the words that are given to you, and I'm going to show you what those are in just a minute. And you need to make sure they're used correctly and that the class understands what they are. Okay? It is your job to teach this to the class, so it's important that you understand what it means and that you can explain it to the class. And time management. This is important. It is a good part of your grade as well. All of these are a significant part of your grade. But did you use your time well? Did each class, did you have something to do where you're not just sitting there saying, I don't have anything? Because there's always ways you can make it better. You can always practice it. At no point should you say, we're done, we don't have anything to do. Okay? There should be always things that you are doing, always ways to improve it, always ways to make it better. If you feel like you're done, add something else to the presentation. Okay? There at no point should you say you're done. If you say you are done before Wednesday at the end of class, then I'm going to say that you get points taken off on your presentation. You need to make sure you are working the entire day, making it fantastic. You have 4 days in class to do it. Use your time wisely. Today, what you need to do is you need to make sure that you are designating roles for your group and that you are researching information and deciding who's going to bring in what to make your model. Okay? You need to make sure you have enough materials to make whatever model you're going to make. We're going to do this in class, so we're going to work on it together. Okay? Whatever you're making your model out of, you need to bring in. So you need to decide who's going to bring in what and have it ready for Monday. Alright, so let's talk about the outline. So, one person in your group is going to get this sheet. Okay, and I'm going to use first hours as an example. So at the top of your sheet, it's going to have your names of who is in your group. Okay, it also tells you at the top when you're presenting and what day the quizzes are. So this is a very important sheet. It's also on the Google Classroom, so if you need to print a copy just for you, you can. Just make sure you print the one that has your name on it. You don't want to print everybody's because it's 6 pages. All right, your group, so I'm going to use Cade, Ryan, and Tyler's as an example. Your group is responsible for streams, so it'll say right here what aquatic ecosystem you have. Okay, it tells you the chapter. It tells you what vocabulary words you need to have. And it tells you you need to become an expert on these questions. Okay? Here gives you some ideas of how you're going to teach it. So are you going to have the class make a foldable? Are you going to do a hands-on activity? Are you going to do a fun vocab activity? Are you going to have them make posters? Are you going to do quiz trade? Are you going to do Google Slides? If you have another way you want to do it, you need to let me know and I need to approve it before you do it. Okay? And the last part is making a model of your aquatic ecosystem. So make a physical model that shows it. Okay? I am open to other ideas if you have them, but you have to let me know what they are. Okay? So I can approve them before you do it. Possible roles or jobs. Okay, so timekeeper. This person makes sure everyone is on task and make sure the project is ready and turned in by Thursday, April 6th. So next Thursday, before school starts. Or like right when school starts. Alright? Next person is the activity creator. They research and create the activity for the class to do. They give the class instructions on how to do it the day of the presentation. Next one is the model creator, and everyone should participate in this. This person is just the main lead on creating the model. So they decide where things go and making sure that their model matches what it looks like in the book so that the aquatic ecosystem looks the same. Okay? The speaker is the person who introduces the project to the class, and they are also helping the model maker, as is the timekeeper helping the activity creator. So really, timekeeper, activity creator, you have the same jobs. Model creator and speaker have the same jobs. Everyone needs to be researching in your group. Okay? If you have more than 4 people, then you need to give someone second job for model creator, speaker, activity creator, timekeeper. Okay? Everyone needs to be working on this at all times. Just because your job says you're timekeeper doesn't mean that's the only thing you do. You should be participating. And I will be watching. and I will ask for group evals, and I will grade you based on that. So make sure you are all participating and you are all working together. This is a group project, not one person does it and everyone else sits there and stares. Okay? Everyone must be working on the project daily. You need to make sure things are ready for your presentation day. That means that if your activity creator is not there, then you're still presenting. Okay? It doesn't, if one person's not in your group, it doesn't mean that you're not presenting that day. You are still presenting. You need to be ready to present on that day. So everyone needs to know what's going on. Everyone needs to be participating and making sure that they know exactly what to say, because if someone is absent, everyone has to step in and make it happen. So you all need to know what you're doing, what the activity is, how to describe the model, and how to teach it to the class. Okay? Think of this as an individual project that you work on with several people. Okay? You all get individual grades. I'm not going to take the excuse that someone's not there. So I'm going to say that one more time. Everyone needs to know how to do the activity. Everyone needs to know how to teach it. Everyone needs to know how to explain the model. Okay? I will not take excuses. If you try to give me an excuse, you will not get a good grade. Okay? Keep that in mind. If you have questions, you can ask Mr. Alfage right next door, or you can email me if he doesn't answer the question the way that you need it to be answered. Okay? So, get started today. Today your job is assigning roles and deciding what you need to bring in, and probably start researching your aquatic ecosystem. So, like I said, when your lead person gets the sheet, so whoever they give the sub gives the sheet to, you need to decide or figure out which one you're doing. So that'll tell you right here, which one are you doing, what day are you presenting, what day is the quiz that's going to be over your section. Okay? So, best of luck. If you have questions, make sure you email me or talk to Mr. Alfage.